Hey everyone, welcome to, what is my intro? Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about Clubhouse and the classical music community on Clubhouse and why you should join it. My name is Julia and I make videos all about classical music, so please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to see my face in your subscription box. I hope you guys enjoy the more cozy environment that we have here. Instead of like having a purely informational vibe to some of my videos, I want it to be more cozy, more inviting. And honestly, this is the kind of environment I would be in if I was on the Clubhouse app. So Clubhouse is a drop-in audio app. It's basically a mix between podcasting and live streaming. So you could imagine when you fuse these two things together that you can get something really, really awesome. And I think that's what we have here. Now, Clubhouse is iOS only, but before you leave, hear me out. Clubhouse is opening up to Android very, very soon. So I encourage you to stick around and to learn about Clubhouse so that if you're an Android user, you can hop on the app as soon as it comes on the market. This app is a little over 1 year old, so it's a pretty new app and it has really taken off. According to Clubhouse officials, the app has over 10 million users, which is insane for its first year. If you're not familiar with Clubhouse, you might be surprised that it is an invite-only app. That means that you could only be invited to the app by another person, or if you join the super long waiting list, you might have a chance of getting on there too. Honestly, I just followed somebody on Instagram and they were like, hey, if anybody wants to come to my room on Clubhouse, but you don't have an invite, I have a few leftover invites. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, can I get an invite? She was like, yeah, sure. And I was officially invited to the app. So as you can see, it's getting easier and easier to get an invite to the app because more and more people are getting on the app, therefore more invites are being handed out. I myself on the app have lots of invites and I would love to share the invites with you guys. I think that would be a really awesome thing and like maybe doing a giveaway or something. Unfortunately, with invites, you have to share your phone number with the person you are inviting and they also have to share their phone number with you. So it's a kind of security thing. I'm not a big fan of it and I hope that they change that soon or that they just open up the app so that anybody can use it because I would really love for you guys to be able to access this. And just know that you will find an invite somehow, somewhere, and don't buy invites and stuff. But if anybody knows how to get people on the app without sharing your phone number, I would love to hear any solutions because I'd love to give you guys some of my invites. I think that'd be really awesome. What's interesting also about Clubhouse is that it has a large professional community. Like most of the people on there are 18 plus. Like I haven't seen somebody younger than me on there, which is crazy. It's geared towards everybody, which is interesting, but because of like the invite only nature of it, it has a large professional community. So there's a lot of business professionals, there's a lot of medical professionals. There are some more fun groups, like there's comedians, there's all sorts of things, but these are all professionals, working professionals. But as you can imagine, there are tons of professional classical musicians on the app, and that is so, so cool to see because I've been learning so much from all of these other people. And for those of you who don't know anything about me, I am a freshman in college studying violin performance, and I don't know very much about what it's like to be a professional. So it's really awesome to hear the perspectives of all of these people on the app because you don't normally get the opportunity to talk to some of these people. I want to give you some lingo so that you kind of understand some of the things that I'm talking about. One of the first terms that you become familiar with as you join the app is the hallway, which is the main page of the app as you're seeing on screen. It is basically where you just see all of the other rooms happening at the moment that the Clubhouse algorithm thinks you'd be interested in or that are from the clubs that you're a part of. A room is basically a page where people meet to discuss a topic. So if you have the hallway, there's lots of rooms. Within each room, there is at least one mod or moderator, and those are the people that guide the conversation within that room and are the people that set up that room in the first place. This is a term that took me a while to figure out because I was very confused. It's called refresh the room. It's kind of like with live streaming how there's new people joining all the time, so you kind of have to refresh your viewers on what you're doing, what you're talking about. And that's basically what refreshing the room is that the moderators will just be like, hey, for anybody who's new, this is what we're talking about. The stage is the very top part of the room where it houses the people that are speaking and also the mods. And if you want to get up on the stage, you have to raise your hand and the mods will decide if you get to come up on stage or not and when that happens. Raising your hand, it puts you on a waiting list to speak. Another thing that took a while for me to learn is mic tapping. When somebody on stage taps their mic really fast, you see the mute icon flashing in front of their picture. That means that they are clapping, basically. They're showing appreciation for the speaker. It's almost like snapping, where it doesn't make a sound, but you're still trying to show appreciation. And this other one isn't as widely used, but if it's a slow tap, that means that somebody on the stage wants to speak. So it's kind of like raising your hand while you're on the stage, which you can't do, so you have to do the slow tap, but that's not as widely used. And that's basically the main gist. Let me know in the comments if you're on Clubhouse and there are some other things that I missed. I'm sure there are. It's really interesting. There's a big learning curve to the app. You have to listen in on a lot of different conversations before you actually start engaging, because you need to understand what's going on in the room. And there's plenty of resources online that tell you how to conduct yourself in a room and how to go about Clubhouse in general, because there is a kind of etiquette on it. So let's talk a little bit about the platform itself. It's really cool because there are so many amazing rooms. The best rooms are thought-provoking, engaging, interesting, and they just go really in depth about certain topics that people don't normally talk about, especially in professional fields. I'll give you some examples for some rooms that I've been in that I have absolutely enjoyed so much. There's a room called Social Media Strategies for Classical Musicians. I've been in one called Being Authentically You as a Musician, Innovating the Future of Classical Music, Confidence and Mindset, Let's Talk Diversity in Classical Music, Classical Piano Geek Out, TikTok and Reels for musicians, artificial intelligence, NFTs, and classical music. Can we be paid in decent exposure? Some rooms come off with a question, and then you talk about that question. It's kind of like a discussion in your English class, but instead of it being about some boring book you read or something, it's like about really interesting things that everybody has a take on. And overall, there's so many more topics that different rooms on Clubhouse go over. Like, there's some rooms dedicated to roasting people. So the mods will look at somebody's like Instagram account, for example, and just roast them. It's hilarious. There's also rooms that talk about diversity and equity and accessibility. There's also rooms about business and marketing strategy and science. And a lot of times people do interviews on Clubhouse. Like, I think Elon Musk was on Clubhouse for an interview. Cody Ko has been seen around on Clubhouse. Like, there's so many different people that are getting into this. So those are a few of the rooms that you can kind of see from Clubhouse, and I hope from hearing that you're getting excited, because it's really, really cool to be a part of these things. And you learn so much. Like, people write pages and pages of notes from being on this app, and it's free. So one interesting thing is that rooms can be held for an indefinite amount of time. You can hold a room for a minute, or you can hold it for weeks, which there have been rooms that have run for multiple days and probably weeks on Clubhouse. Especially in the very beginning of Clubhouse, there were some rooms that would be held for such a long time, and that's where you kind of see it's similar to live streaming, but because it's the audio only component, people can go even longer, and because it's a community, it's easier to let somebody else talk and for you to just hang out in the room and not have to say anything. So it's really cool how these rooms, people get so engaged in discussion that they could just never stop. Clubhouse has been really awesome for me because I've gotten to talk to some really amazing people. And I think that's sort of the benefit of getting on early, is that you get to interact with all these interesting people and sometimes influencers. I've gotten to meet a lot of my idols from over on Instagram, like Anastasia Masurak, Katie Alphen, Ken Kubota. I've also gotten to talk directly to Esther Abrami and Sumina Studer, and Sumina Studer actually shouted out this channel. So if Sumina Studer likes this channel, then maybe you should too. But I've gotten to talk to all those people, and it's really awesome, because those are the people that I look up to in the classical music community. They are all amazing instrumentalists, but they also have such incredible takes on different topics, and you could really see that in their Clubhouse rooms. Also, since I am a first-year college student, I'm really thinking about my future a lot. Being on an app that is mostly professionals, it's kind of like LinkedIn, but it's not. It's not boring like LinkedIn. It's like engaging LinkedIn. And being on an app with so many professionals has given me so much career insight on what I can do for the rest of my life, and that has been so incredibly valuable for me. I'm also studying marketing in university right now. That's my second major, and there's so many crossovers, and the app is also amazing for, like, I've really gotten interested in marketing, and a lot of it's because of Clubhouse. So let's talk about the future of Clubhouse, what it's looking like down the line. So it's starting to monetize some creators actually. So it's kind of taking a YouTube and TikTok route where it's paying people to be the mods of these rooms, the hosts, and so far it's a very small amount of people that are being paid. It's mainly the people that are conducting all of these rooms, but it's really awesome that there's actually a monetary aspect that's going into it to help support people who are spending all of their time on this app providing value for others. And now you're paying them, you're helping to support them so that they can continue doing this. So that is going to help the longevity of Clubhouse. I've been in a few rooms with some of the Clubhouse creators, people asking questions about, well, do you ever want to start adding video to Clubhouse? And they were pretty adamant that they want Clubhouse to be an audio only platform, which I really respect because that's what makes it really unique. If they start going to video, they're immediately going to be drowned out by all of the competition. So I think that this audio only really gives it its charm and makes it a really valuable place and a really comfortable place. Like, I could join a room while I am in bed, half asleep, if I wanted to, or if I'm really busy at work and I just want to join a room and hear, you know, like, you can join at any time, doesn't matter what you look like, and you don't even have to talk. So it's really awesome in that way. It's also kind of like radio. Now, Twitter has released a competitor to Clubhouse, which I think it's called Twitter Spaces. And basically, I've been in one Twitter space room, and that's when AJR, I think it was right after they released their most recent album. And I was in it and I didn't really like it. And I don't know if it's because it was very similar and probably a little bit more optimized. But like I said, Clubhouse really has a charm to it. And if there's any company that should compete with Clubhouse, it probably would be Twitter, because they have a similar format in that most people just share words. And that's kind of like Clubhouse, but Twitter doesn't have that same charm that Clubhouse has, at least not the big room that I was in. So I don't know if Twitter's competitor is actually going to be as successful, but Clubhouse is a little bit slow when it comes to optimizing their platform and opening it up to the public. So that could be one thing that holds them back, but I think that they're unique enough to the point that they will survive past this competitor, and their charm is really, really, really going to bring it to the light to be one of the big platforms. So specifically about the classical music community on Clubhouse, it is really awesome in that it makes classical music knowledge accessible to everyone that can get an invite, of course. So in a way, it's a little bit less accessible, which I hope that changes in the future, but it is accessible and it is free and nobody has to pay for this kind of content. So I think that it is really valuable in that way, and I want to utilize this platform to share a lot of my insights into things, and I'm not exclusively going over to Clubhouse, but I already created a club on Clubhouse and it's called the Violin Club, and we already have over 300 followers and we're looking to add more each and every day. So if you join Clubhouse, join the Violin Club. That would be awesome to have you. And although a Violin Club hasn't really kicked off in many rooms yet, I really want to kickstart that very soon so that we could have all of these different conversations about being a violinist in today's world and how to pursue violin and how to practice and study and do all these things with it, because I think it's a really valuable method to share information with people. Now I want to give you some recommendations for clubs on Clubhouse that you should join, and these are classical music specific clubs, but there are many, many, many other ones that are really awesome, and it's easy to find clubs on the app by just searching for them for a topic that you're interested in, and it should pop up. But here are some clubs that I recommend that you join. So number one, Violin Club. Obviously, I'm the founder of the club. If you want to be a part of any rooms for Violin Club, I would love to have you, and please, if you're on the app, like, tell me, and I would love to start a room with you. There's also several classical music clubs, and it's really funny because when Clubhouse finally opened up creating clubs to all people, there were so many people to hop on that really fast and create classical music clubs. So as a result, there's several different clubs, but they all have really valuable things, and you could be a part of all of them. I recommend you join the club known as Classical Music, Instrumentalists of Clubhouse, Classical Musicians of Clubhouse, which I think one of those has an Instagram that you could also check out. Orchestral Entrepreneurs, that one's really cool, but it's really cool rooms about that. I want to be an orchestral musician when I'm older, so that's awesome. The Mic, really cool conversations. Opera, there's lots of different opera clubs too. And something really cool about Clubhouse is it's kind of like Facebook groups where you could join a club on almost any topic and really enjoy your time there. So literally whatever you're interested in, look it up. There's probably a club for it. And if not, you can easily make one and you'll get tons of people following the club really interested in what you have to say. A few other things I'd like to share about Clubhouse. This app has people from all over the world. Oftentimes with social media, Americans, we see a lot of other Americans, and that is the majority of the people that we see, because I think that's how the algorithm sort of put that together. But on Clubhouse, I would say Americans are a minority, at least in the rooms that I've been in. Most of the classical musicians in the room that I've been in are based in Europe, in Germany, in London, in all sorts of places. And it's so refreshing to get out of the American perspective and identity and to see what other people have to say that aren't Americans. Oh, another cool thing about Clubhouse is that you can have a bio, a description that can be forever long. So you can, there are people who list like all of their credentials, which is kind of like what makes it like a professional platform. Also, you can link your Instagram and Twitter. Clubhouse actually doesn't have any kind of direct messaging directly on it. People, what they do is they link their Instagram and then you go send somebody a DM on Instagram and that's how you talk to them. It kind of forces you to have verbal conversations with people on the app instead of direct messaging people. And I wonder if that's intentional or not. I think it does need to have direct messaging to some capacity because it would make things a lot easier and make the app a lot easier to use in some ways. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed talking about Clubhouse, and it's been a while since I've made a video. I know it's a really awesome platform, and I really encourage you to get on it as soon as you can. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, leave a comment down below about what you think about Clubhouse and whether you think they're gonna last or if it's just a passing social media, and what your thoughts are about it, and also the classical music community expanding to other spaces. And if you're on Clubhouse, drop me your username and I'll go follow you and we could have some cool discussions on there. Also, subscribe if you would like to see more content about classical music and such. But anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you later.